No, I'm not going to say. I'm not going to say.
No, I don't believe you. Who is the most fun on that set?
He's hilarious. Come on. And it was total chaos.
Is that the epiphany for when you wanted to be on television?
I never thought I did want to be on television. I wanted to be like a serious theater actor. And I could never get hired for theater to save my life.
Did they all want to hook up with you?
No.
Did you realize it was going to be so iconic?
Oh, Lord. I have no idea what's going to happen in this. The memory of that day was so great.
Why?
It makes the allure lost.
Exactly.
Go off on that.
What happened? We got through it. That's what we did.
That is such good advice. She texts you 4 times.
I texted him once. I called him 4 times.
Okay.
You know, Taylor, you are such a liability. We've also known Taylor since we were 12.
Oh, I was going to say, how does he have so much job security if he's a guy whose phone doesn't work?
You know, Taylor, I say we have very important people coming in the studio with Julie today. And of course, she's downstairs and she's calling you incessantly over and over. You don't. How does he have job security? He knows too much about me, so I can't get rid of him ever.
He does. Okay.
He's a pretty good producer.
I want to, there's so many ways, it's like an octopus to take this conversation. But first, I want to know, because I'm just curious about your life before fame.
Oh, what?
Before you were famous.
You got to give me a genre of the life,
Give
like
us,
an area.
Give us where you grew up, what you were, how you were as a kid. Give us all the details.
I was, I grew up in Baltimore, Maryland, and I'm one of 3 girls. I'm the middle daughter.
Okay.
And most people think I'm the oldest though, because I'm neurotic and I'm constantly looking at the clock and trying to take care of people in that way and make sure everybody gets where they should go. And my older sister is much more fun. Everybody meets her goes, oh my God, Molly's fantastic. And she truly is. And then my younger sister's also fantastic and is a infectious disease doctor in San Francisco. Yeah. Working on HIV, TB, and of course, COVID, which everybody loves. So I grew up in Baltimore and, wasn't allowed to watch TV.
Ever?
No, we could watch specials. You two were too young, but there used to be it would say specials and it would be SPE over the sea. The whole word would spin over and tingles would go up my spine because that meant I get to watch it. I was so excited.
It was like a treat.
It was such a treat. And I snuck MASH when my mom was doing errands. So my first crush was Alan Alda, naturally.
So when you look back, is that the epiphany for when you wanted to be on television?
I never thought I did want to be on television. I wanted to be a serious theater actor. I wanted to go and do Shakespeare, and I could never get hired for theater to save my life. I started getting jobs on soaps and doing commercials, and and then they were like, it's time to move to LA. And I thought, no, I'm going to be a serious actor. And I said, everyone will make fun of me if I go to LA. And they do, and they did, but I don't care.
What was your first big break?
The first, I did a bunch of commercials, and then as soon as I moved out to LA, I got this movie. They were doing Showtime was doing a series of remakes of B movies from the 50s that were jailbreak junkies or motorcycle mamas. And mine was Runaway Daughters. And it was with Paul Rudd. And I was like, I don't know if anyone's going to see this, but this is awesome. And this guy's fantastic. But it was sort of got the ball rolling, definitely. And then I did bits. I did an arc on ER, and you just keep going like that. And then finally I got a bunch of series that nobody ever saw. But I worked really steadily. Happy Gilmore was probably my first big quote unquote break.
Do you know what it was like seeing Happy Gilmore, Julie and Happy Gilmore back in the day as a young man, Lauren?
Oh, it was boner.
I can't hear that, and my kids won't watch it. And I'm glad. I'm glad.
Yeah, it might be weird for your sons to watch it.
My sons.
But it's not. It was it's a PG-13 flick.
I remember. I think we watched Happy Gilmore together. So you essentially were cheating on me at 13
with my eyes.
In your
was
head.
that the first time?
I think we were about 13 years old.
No, what year did Happy Gilmore come out? Do you remember?
95, maybe? No. 90, maybe 93, somewhere in there.
No, Lauren, Happy Gilmore was because I was born in 87. So, but we would watch it later.
You people are children.
Yeah.
You're children.
We are?
Yeah, you're little babies.
Oh.
It's great.
So when you got Happy Gilmore, did you know it was going to be such a hit, or did that happen slow?
No, not at all. I loved Adam because I have always been a diehard Saturday Night Live fanatic.
Yeah.
I watch it all the time, always. Through the good years, the bad years, cast changes. I am my friends call me a chuckle fucker. I don't really date comedians, but I just love them. I think they're the smartest, funniest people.
A chuckle fucker.
You've never heard that
No,
term?
I love that.
It's a chuckle fucker. That's like a junkie girl, junkies for comedians.
Okay.
Chuckle fuckers.
Okay, keep going.
But that movie is still like, you could, if that movie's on right now, you still will watch it. It's a classic.
So I'm told. I can't really see it that way. And I got it, and I loved Adam, but he had done Billy Madison, which was at the time like a little bit of like a sleeper hit. Like people knew it, but you had to be like an Adam Sandler fan. Over time, that got to be huge. And I thought, well, no one's going to see this. And that's fine because my hair's really bad. And I would go to my trailer and be really sad about my hair. But I was having so much fun. I was like, who cares? This is the greatest thing ever. Adam's the nicest, coolest person. And I was having the best time. And then it came out and I'm like, oh, my hair. Really should have done something about my hair.
Your hair? I feel like all I can imagine is like how hot you looked in that white suit.
Oh, and the white, in my lingerie with it was the 2 pitchers of beer, I think, that gave him a boner.
Carl Weathers on the piano.
So it was a little person in a cowboy outfit riding around on a bike.
Who was the most fun on that set? I feel like you're going to say Shooter McGavin.
I mean, yes. Chris is very, very, very fun. But, I mean, the whole set made me laugh so hard. I'm trying to remember Alan Covert, who was the bearded caddy, who is now one of Adam's producers. I mean, the Adam world goes on forever. He just takes them with him. So, and he's hilarious. Come on. And he would have all of his friends from I don't even know where they were from, high school or New Hampshire, whatever. It was a constant party on that set.
What seems so fun to me is I love when it's me and all the guys.
Yes.
And I feel like that was you on that set.
Yes.
It was like you and all the guys, so there was no drama, I would assume. It's just like fun.
It was so fun. I really, really, coming from a family of all girls and going to all girls schools until 10th grade. And I was so happy I went to boarding school in 10th grade. And I was thrilled that I finally had boys in my class because I was like, oh, those are my people. Now I get it. Because I don't think we're allowed to say tomboy anymore. I don't know why, but
I can't keep track.
I just say it, and if
Someone should make a dictionary.
I'm not sure
things
why.
We can't say.
So my apologies if I'm offending someone named Tom, or I don't know who it's offending. I get it. Yep. But I was always more comfortable hanging out with boys. Only I didn't know any, and I didn't know that until I met them. And I was like, yes.
Did they all want to hook up with you?
No,
I don't believe you. I'm going to get Adam Sandler on the podcast and ask him that question.
No. He had I think he had a girl. I don't remember. No, they were like my boys.
Wow, I thought you were going to say, they all wanted to hook up.
No.
No, but I imagine it's like Lauryn hangs out with a lot of my guy friends. Like she's great friends with all of them. And I feel like it's like when you're kind of like a girl like that hangs with the, you're just kind of like in with the guys.
So you don't think your friends want to fuck me?
I hope not. Maybe.
I think she's upset.
Kind of.
She's a little bit upset. Huh.
I mean, listen, they're all a bunch of dogs, so I'm sure it's an option. Maybe,
you never know. So when that comes out and it becomes what it is, were you shocked?
Yes, very shocked. But I was also working on something else, and it was kind of a slow roll too. That movie every generation seems to discover it all over again. All my kids' friends were like, oh my God, your mom was in Happy Gilmore. And my kids are like, we don't want to know.
Oh, that's got to be kind of weird.
We don't want to know.
They all like you. They're all like, let me see your mom. Let me take a peek.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
coming over for dinner.
It's usually like Modern Family, but then then every generation finds that Happy Gilmore all over again.
So when was the first moment that you knew that it was as big as what it is?
Oh, Lord. I think when my dad said that his friends were watching it, and I was like, huh? My dad's really into golf. And he also is really into giving me a hard time, in a loving way. But he's like, you finally made something I can watch. And I was like, Dad, I'm in lingerie carrying 2 pitchers of beer.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the thing with he's like, who cares about that? It's about golf. He loved it. So I think that was a bigger deal for me than anything else.
And what was your next big moment after that?
Oh my gosh. I I did a TV show called Ed for 4 years in
Yeah.
New York.
Yeah.
That, again, I'm excellent at not watching anything that I do, and I'm excellent at leaving it like at the door. Like I do my work, I go home. It's like I do a play every day.
It's
And I
kind of
don't-
like you come with your briefcase and leave with it.
Do
Exactly.
you not like watching yourself, or it's just one of those things where it's like when it's done, it's on to the next?
I don't love watching myself, but more than that, like the memory of that day was so great. Like, whatever we were doing in the bowling alley with Tom Cavanaugh, or with the day we were like riding camels or whatever. And I'm like, if I see it and it doesn't look like my memory. Did you guys film your wedding?
Yeah.
I
Of
know
course
what
you
Parts
did,
of-
because you're
parts of it.
millennials.
I know what
Parts
you
of it.
say. I know what you're saying. You're saying you don't want the visual on the screen to ruin the memory.
There are times when you're doing something super technical. Usually with comedy, it's not so technical. But I just got done doing kind of a horror-y genre show where it was super technical. And I'm actually excited to see that because it was so about effects and technique and like how the stunt was getting done that it doesn't feel as much like my memory of it was I was like flying across a green screen. So I can't wait to kind of see that.
Okay, so sometimes you
Sometimes I don't mind seeing myself.
at what point in all of your career did you decide to have kids? And just for me, selfishly, I want to know how you balanced all that because it's a lot of work.
There is no balance.
Yeah.
This is my patented TM Julie Bowen advice for married people. Marriage is compromise. Children are surrender. And if you don't both surrender, it's going to get ugly. like your pretty house and like your coffee table that has like gorgeous like tablescapes and dangerous sharp objects. And it's done. They don't care. They ruin you. They come in and they just take it down. Yeah, it's like
Lauryn decided to furnish our whole place in like kind of like this like off-white
So,
color, everything.
Right
I
before
was
the
like,
baby came.
"Ugh."
You know what though? I feel like
we have spent more on
my
cleanings
kids
than
are a
all of the
little
furniture.
they're a little scared on the dogs.
I'm scared too, but it's
But I do have to surrender. You also have 3 boys.
I have 3 boys.
and you have twin boys. So
Yes.
this is like you're like
But
in it.
yeah, with one kid, you still like sometimes think you can control it, which
Yeah.
is the danger because you're like, I can control this. I can chart, which I did. I can chart your sleep schedule and like graph it to discover the ultimate optimal moments to put you to bed for a
Optimal.
nap. The ultimal. I made that word up. That's a new
yeah,
TM
that's
for me.
You got it.
My
So-
ultimate moment for you to nap is going to be not at like, it's not at 3:05, it's at 3:10 p.m. nap time. I was so obsessive. And then the twins came along and they really broke me in 2.
why?
Well, because you cannot control 3 children in diapers. Like somebody's going to be sick. Somebody doesn't want to take a nap. Somebody's crying. You got to like, you have to surrender to the chaos a little.
So how did you balance? I know you don't like that word, but how did you juggle your huge career and being a mom of 3 boys, 2 are
Ugh.
twins? Like I don't. What is that like when you look back? Were you just in it?
You're so in it and your head doesn't come up. I was pregnant with the twins on the pilot of Modern Family.
Okay.
I was 8 months pregnant with them. And so I was like anytime they show Claire Dunphy, I'm like behind the kitchen.
Oh, so you're one of those women that don't get puffy in the face.
Oh no, my face is so pregnant. When you look at it and not you've met me, you'll be like, okay, yep.
Really?
Yeah, my face was very pregnant. My eyebrows were pregnant. My hair was pregnant, but that was good because your hair gets nice and thick.
So I know that's
That was
hard.
nice.
So they just hid you.
They hid me. I was always folding laundry or carrying things. But if you know to look for it, I'm clearly pregnant. So people often ask like, oh, did your life change before and after Modern Family? I'm like, yeah, I had 3 kids under 2. At the same day Modern Family was picked up I was in labor with the twins.
Wow.
So I was like, my whole life changed because 2 people came out of me at the same time and it was total chaos. So I don't really remember a lot of the first year. The cast was like, remember? And then we went to that party. It was so fun. And Julie, where were you? And I'm like, I don't know. Was I there? I have no idea.
And when you got Modern Family, did you realize with Happy Gilmore, did you realize it was going to be so iconic?
I knew it was going to be successful. I'd done at that point. I'd been around long enough to go, oh, I want this. This is a good job.
Yeah, it's a good cast.
I met the people. I met everybody. I was scared to meet Sophia because she looks the way she looks. So I thought she was going to be, I was like, what if she's awful? Come on.
Yeah, but you're absolutely beautiful
No,
too.
but I met her and she was the coolest, most down to earth, funniest person I'd ever met. I was like, oh my God, that's the one I was scared of. And she's amazing.
And also, I feel like the husband. Why can't I think of his name?
His name is Phil Dunphy. No, his name is Ty Burrell.
I know. But there's also the other name and from Married with Children. What's his name?
Oh, Al Bundy.
Oh, that's what I thought. In my head, I thought
Ed O'Neill.
Yeah.
Ed O'Neill's. I grew up watching Married with Children. That was like
You would be scared of him.
Is he nice?
Yeah, there's like literally nothing bad to say about our cast. I think we give the worst interviews about each other because we're like, yeah, they're amazing.
I like that though.
But you guys got along.
It feels like a family, like in real life.
We got along from day one.
we did a project here with Sarah Hyland, and she was great. It was like
She's the best.
She voiced a character for a show we called Bone Mary Berry, which was a comedy show, but she did it. She was rad.
Bone Mary Berry. You mean Fuck, Marry, Kill?
It was basically a play on that. Trademark. There was a trademark issue with Fuck, Marry, Kill, and so
Somebody
it's called,
trademarked?
Yes. So it is called Bone Mary Berry.
Who
Check it out.
trademarked it?
I
don't
don't
know.
know. It's someone.
Remember when Paris Hilton wanted to trademark That's Hot?
I think she did.
I don't think it's possible.
Well, I
We
know
have to
there was
look-
some
fact
kind
check
of
that, Taylor.
there was some kind of issue where like that somebody has that thing, I believe.
I know that Tyra Banks was able to trademark Smize.
Oh, that's she should start a brand.
I'm sure she does or has. I just always found that fascinating.
Is Modern Family when it launched before or after social media? Or right?
It
during?
was okay. So fun. Here's fun. My first son was born in 2007 in April, and 2 weeks later the iPhone came out.
Okay.
And I remember it well because my husband at the time was like, I'm just gonna go pick up some more stuff for the baby, and he was trying to find an Apple store that didn't have too long of a line, and it didn't yet have all the bells and whistles. There wasn't even a camera on it yet. And by the time we got to 2009, you had a camera on the phone, but not social media.
How was it different having a show like Happy Gilmore that has no social media that blew up from Modern Family that does have social media?
Well, it's really interesting because some of us did not jump on board social media. Some of us did it like, oh, this looks like it's fun.
Right.
Like I would dip in and out, and then I'd like let an account go dormant or something. And then you find out, no, usually you're not going to get endorsements unless you have 1 million people following you or something. And I was like, huh? But then you get the Ty Burrells of the world, one of the most talented, kind people I've ever met. Zero social media people, none. Not an Instagram, not as far as I know, not a Finsta or a Sinsta, nothing.
I like that though.
I love that.
I love it too. My dream is now one day to just ride off into a hillside somewhere and never be heard from again or seen
I just
from.
think it's the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, especially now because everyone has it.
Because, yeah, and, you know, other people, I would never say it, that he probably misses out on some big endorsements and stuff. I go, I think he's fine.
Yeah, I don't think it matters. At
I
this point.
think he's fine.
How many seasons did it go now officially?
11.
That's a long time.
Yes.
And how many years in total? Is that 11 years in
It's
total?
11
longer
years.
in total.
That's 11 years.
So you literally saw everyone grow up there too.
Yeah, literally. And my children literally like thought that I had a normal job where I went to work every morning in, Century City and came home every night. And then after that, I started going away to do jobs. They're like, what? I thought you just like went down the street and it was all chill. No.
How did you manage that? I freak out when I have to leave my kids for too long. It's really hard. I made him bring the kids this trip. What did you do? Did you bring them on set? Do you leave them? What's the secret?
Well, Modern Family was so lucky. We shot crazy fast. We were often out sometimes we're done by lunch. I'm not kidding you.
Oh,
we'd be in
cool.
at 6 a.m. and we'd be done at like 1 p.m.
That's amazing.
Sometimes we'd have a big, long 12-hour day, but nothing like most shows. So I got to see my kids all the time. And I turned down a lot of jobs that were out of town. Like in the summer, I would go do a movie and I was like, oh, I'm not doing that.
So you were meticulous about what you did so it didn't affect the family too much.
Yeah, absolutely. I took a job once in Nova Scotia, not really looking at a map. And my husband at the time was going to be in Long Island. And I'm like, close.
Right,
no
that's
problem. Did not. Also, where's the airport? In Long Island, you got to go back to the city. Nova Scotia, I don't even know where the airport was. I can't even tell you. It was such a complicated trains, planes, and automobiles to see these kids, but I made him stay on the East Coast so I could see them.
I don't blame you. And I think when you do things like what you just said, it teaches you to be even more thoughtful about what you're doing and funnel it even more. I have spent a lot of time making my home non-toxic, and I've really become a practitioner. I've learned a lot along the way. It's taken like 2 years. And one area that I'm really focused on right now is my garden and my lawn. You would be shocked to hear about the American Yard. The American Yard has some of the highest concentrations of pesticides. So I found this new brand. It's called Sunday. They have the most incredible products for the lawn. They believe in better ingredients. They believe in better results and better backyards for people, pets, and plants. My dogs are outside all the time. My kids are outside. We're grounding on the grass. I don't want any toxic pesticides in the grass. I mean, it's so crazy that we try to do something that's natural and earthing and be outside, and then you're like standing with bare feet on harsh chemicals. So there's no harsh chemicals, there's no glyphosate, and I just think it's really amazing because they focus on simple nutrient-dense ingredients like seaweed, molasses, and iron. Everything is backed by science, and it just helps you grow a beautiful lawn and a beautiful garden. So the one that I started with was the Flower and Bloom plant food mix. And this is natural. It's going to boost your blooms and just make everything look really beautiful. Sunday is available at Target, Walmart, and Lowe's stores nationwide. Use code SKINNY20 for 20% off your custom lawn plan on getsunday.com. That's getsunday.com, code SKINNY20.
This one's for the parents out there. So let's talk about Hiya Health. Lauryn and I love Hiya Health. These are children's vitamins that our children take every single day. While most children's vitamins are filled with 5 grams of sugar and can contribute to a variety of health issues, Hiya is made with 0 sugar and 0 gummy junk, yet it tastes great and is perfect for picky eater. Typical children's vitamins are basically candy in disguise. What we love about Hiya is it's formulated with help of nutritional experts. Hiya is pressed with a blend of 12 organic fruits and veggies, then supercharged with 15 essential vitamins and minerals, including vitamin D, B12, C, zinc, folate, and many others to help support immunity, energy, brain function, mood, concentration, teeth, bones, and more. It's non-GMO, vegan, dairy-free, allergy-free, gelatin-free, all of the great stuff. And it's designed for kids 2 and up and sent straight to your door so parents have one less thing to worry about. I also recommend checking out their new kids probiotic and nighttime essentials. We give this to them before bed each day. So like I said, we're so worried all the time about what we're taking, what supplements we're recommending for adults, but we sometimes forget that our children need them too. Of course, we've worked out a special deal with Hiya for their best-selling children's vitamin. Receive 50% off your first order. To claim this deal, you must go to hiyahealth.com/skinny. This deal is not available on their regular website. Go to hiyahealth.com/skinny and get your kids the full body nourishment they need to grow into healthy adults. hiyahealth.com/skinny.
I have this hack that I did for my period, and I cannot shut up about it. It's so good. So I have this neck warmer that has lavender in it, and it's weighted, and I put it on my neck every single night, and I got my period, and I was like, wait, like I have cramps. So what I did is I sprayed a cycle soothing spray. It's by Primally Pure on my stomach. And the cycle soothing spray has magnesium in it, tons of magnesium. I think there's like 2,700 milligrams of magnesium per bottle. And I sprayed it on my stomach, and then I took my weighted lavender neck pillow and put it on top of my stomach. And I am telling you guys, this medley was heaven, is heaven. I will never, ever in my life not have a period and not use their magnesium spray with my weighted neck pillow. The combo was heaven, and I wasn't having to plug like a heat pad into the wall, and I wasn't having to use anything toxic because Primally Pure uses all non-toxic ingredients. They also are focused on making sure their products are not endocrine disrupting, especially if you're spraying it on your stomach. Their cycle soothing spray when you have your period. You're going to notice fewer cramps and a calmer nervous system with this cycle soothing spray. If you're tired of discomfort during your monthly menstrual cycle, try the cycle soothing spray from Primally Pure. Go to primallypure.com/skinny. That's www.primallypure.com/skinny. Use code skinny at checkout for 15% off your order.
Yeah, you pay attention while you're there. You have to be there.
Yeah.
And there's always feelings of like, what did I miss?
Right.
But at the same time, I mean, everyone say, oh, enjoy these years. They go so fast. I was like, get fucked. It is, days are long and the years are short, but the days are long.
We're in it. We have a
How old are they?
4-year-old and a 2-year-old.
Yeah, those are long. Those days are long, but the years, all of a sudden, I'm like, wait, why don't you guys want to talk to me anymore?
I know, it's so hard.
When does that start
It's a
happening?
mindfuck.
Well, actually, that's why I made the product that I made, JB SKRUB, is they I think it's like around puberty-ish, but it's like a little bit before that. Like one day they're like, Mom, you have to come wipe my butt, like literally. And the next day they've locked the bathroom door and you're like, it's like around 10 or something. They're like, I can take my own shower. I'm like, can you?
Wait, that's so weird that they
Can
lock the
you?
door. If
They
my daughter locked
right.
the door, I would be like,
Well, I don't know anything about girls.
I would
by
start
the way.
spiraling. Oh my God, I didn't even think about stuff like that.
Do you have a girl and a boy?
Older girl, younger boy.
Younger boy. I mean, they're very different creatures from what I hear.
I mean, our
but
daughter's like very dainty, but I've never seen like the boy just like crashing into stuff and breaking stuff and banging his head into everything.
How do you think
Yeah,
3
no,
are?
I know you know, but
Well, just trust that when they get to that age, your daughter will have like a 12-step Korean skincare routine that you will be like, how do you know how to do that? She'll be demanding drunk elephant. And your boy will be maybe pouring some conditioner on his head and walking out of the shower without rinsing it off. And you're like, you smell and you're disgusting.
I don't know. Michael Bostic's hair routine is a Korean 10-step.
Is it?
Yeah, he has a
it's
Korean
not a Korean
10-step with
10-step. It's just a slick
the
back
specific
and a hit it
brush.
with a
It's a
comb.
whole thing. It's like it's a lot. This is what this says on this sheet that Sarah Hyland gives you credit for saving her life after a violent relationship.
Oh, that's very sweet of her.
You were like, it sounds like a mother to her.
I was a responsible adult that happened to be around at the right time.
So-
But I'm sure another responsible adult would have done the exact same thing. I just love her.
So do you look at her like maternally?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
I look at her and Ariel and Nolan and, well, Rico was always like an adult, a tiny adult. But yeah, no, I look at them all like my kids.
So
I love
can you
them.
just text them or call them anytime?
Yeah.
That's
oh,
cool.
absolutely.
So
oh,
you guys
yeah.
are like a real family.
Well, I was thinking it's weird because you saw them grow. I mean, how old were they when the youngest one
They
started?
were 11. Well, Nolan, Rico, Ariel were all 11. Sarah was actually just 18, but she looked like she was 13.
Yeah.
She's so petite.
Adorable.
Sorry, my salad. I'm burping up my salad. I'm just going to say it.
It's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's
I want to know what kind of salad it was.
It was just the salad that I make at home every single day. It's
What
really
you're gonna
boring.
have to tell us what that
Everyone
is.
wants to
so
know the
boring.
salad. That's
Sorry.
what happens on
Yeah,
these
this
things. Now
week-
you,
Are
yeah,
you
they-
fucking kidding?
Oh,
that's what happens.
They want to
And
know
they'll
the
be mad
salad.
at us if we don't ask you.
What exactly?
Okay,
was-
then here's my salad.
Okay,
It's
go.
the same damn thing every day. It is baby spinach, baby arugula, tomatoes, avocados, a little bit of chicken.
Okay.
Not much. And then here's the key, because all of that is just making way for French poodle, which is the dressing, which we get shipped to my house in cases. And it's
French poodle.
it's a restaurant maybe, or was once up in Fancylandia. Where's like French Laundry and stuff up there?
I don't
Like,
know, but this,
I'm ordering it right away.
Yeah,
it is. I would put it on a doorknob and eat it. It's just
that place
delicious.
What
better
is
get
it
ready
like
'cause
olive oil, lemon, and
It's
garlic?
it's a vinaigrette that is really flavorful and makes everything delicious. Put on chicken, vegetables, anything.
And you eat the salad every single day. As much as
Every
you
single day.
What are you talking about every single day?
She eats it every day.
Every day?
Yeah, but I never change it either.
Ever. Just every day.
I'm
Same
like
salad.
that too. I like the same thing every day.
Every day.
I eat a bowl of meat, like a big bowl of meat
Can you say that this is real? The
Yeah,
words
it's
that she
real, it's
said.
real.
every day.
Is it
somebody-
cooked
she
meat?
never ate it. No, it's cooked meat.
It's
Yeah.
ground beef every day.
Do you
Huge
know that
bowl.
I grew up eating raw meat?
Go off on that? I love ramen.
What's better? My mom grew up in the Midwest in the 50s and 60s, and we would be making hamburgers in Baltimore in the 70s and 80s, and she was like, take a little pinch, pour some salt on there, and pop it in her mouth. And I was like, what are you doing? She's like, try it.
It's good.
Oh my God. To this day, and I stopped eating meat years and years and years ago, and not for moral reasons. I went to boarding school. The meat was bad. I said, you never make me eat meat again.
Huh.
But that's the one thing I miss.
Is a little bit of raw
hamburger meat with salt and pepper on it.
Oh, TikTok's gonna love that. I'm gonna do that.
That's gonna be the one.
That was the best.
That's gonna go viral.
You're gonna go on social, and that's what's gonna go.
I know that it's terrible for you. And I remember as a kid, I was like, I'm not sure we can. My mom was like, she wasn't a bad mom at all, but she was like, pork is the bad one. That's trichinosis.
Okay.
Beef is fine.
Yeah, if you get a good, clean, quality source of beef, like it's actually pretty good.
I don't know what we were getting from the AMP was necessarily what you're talking about.
But I mean,
was it grass-fed, grass-finished, 100% organic?
No.
But the meat supplies since then have been altered a lot.
Even worse and worse. Yes.
Yeah.
But I have to say, shout out to Susie. She was a great mom. Hi, Mom. She was not trying to kill us.
Yeah, I love it. I'm going to do that to Zaza. Okay, on your podcast, you talk about quitting.
I did. I quit the podcast.
Go off on that. I would love to hear more about that and how you look at quitting.
Well, we wanted to do. I did it with this guy named Chad Sanders, who is.
When did you do this?
2 years ago.
Why didn't we talk at the time?
3 years ago, 2 years ago. There was all that COVID stuff, and I don't even know. It's like when I think about, in my mind, I mean, you guys had babies during it, but in my mind, it's like a gray veil over those years. I'm like, what happened? We got through it. That's what we did. But I was not able to do a lot of other work at the time. And I didn't know that, because nothing was filming. And then I had no idea that podcasting was like full-time business.
Yeah.
It's full-time.
Yeah.
And Chad's also a writer. And at a certain point, I was just like, I'm going back to work. I was going to work on a show. And so we just said, we're quitting. And that our show was about quitting. So why not? Quitting things that hold you back.
I agree. It's like quitting things that don't serve you to make room for other opportunities that are positive.
I have a friend who says that he always feels better after crying, throwing up, or quitting a job.
Wow, that's a good one.
I know. And I was like, wow, that is specific, but that's true. Like, I mean, obviously a job that you needed to quit. But a lot of people, you get into a rut or a routine or you feel obligations. And by the way, sometimes you can't quit stuff.
Right.
You got mouths to feed. We're not the luxury of just walking away. But during COVID, especially, tons of people walked away from their jobs and said, I'm not doing this anymore. And many have not returned. So I thought that was a fascinating topic.
They didn't let you film anything during COVID? You guys couldn't have like a little isolated bunker?
We did. I shot a couple things during COVID and it was depressing. Because for me, it's like, I'm not the most social person, and I get my socializing on set. I'm running around chatting with everybody. I'm having the best day. They put you in these little like tents between scenes, and you're all alone. And you want to go drink water. You go into like a phone booth, pull your mask down. Drink. I mean, I was like, this is sad, and this is making me sad. So I did a couple jobs during COVID, but
that's what was weird about. Obviously, we're in the podcast world, but and I think it was like a real moment because you could do a lot of these during that.
Yes.
And you couldn't do kind of in the entertainment world, you couldn't really do anything else.
Right. There was nothing. You could, but it was really depressing because I realized how much being on a set, I love a set. I love it. I love the grips. I love the electric. I love the camera guys. I like the writers. I like the whole thing. And then I go home and I feel like my social battery is completely full and I don't need to go out at night. But then going at COVID and being between, they go take you back to your tent and sit there and I was like, oh, this is awful.
I totally understand. I get my social from the podcast. And then you go home and you're like, you're good.
You don't feel a need to talk and talk and talk.
Right. I used to be a bartender and it was the same. It's like bartending actually is like podcasting and is probably, I would assume, you're good.
Yes.
You're good.
You're good. You get filled up.
Yeah.
What did you do before podcasting?
Nothing to do with anything in media. I was in commerce space and had an ad agency.
And JetBed.
Yeah, and manufacturing business. I was all over the place.
And you're into, is that hockey on your arm or is that a hatchet?
No, these are hatchets.
Oh, they're hatchets. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know that was a hatchet.
What's
on your leg?
I did used to play hockey.
What's on your leg?
Wait, she didn't know, your wife does not know that
what a hatchet.
you have
I thought it was
hatchets
like
on your arms?
To be honest, I don't think she knows what hatchet means. I think she just calls them axe. My wife is amazing in a million things, but I noticed that like for certain things, like if it's an axe, it's an axe and it's not a hatchet. Does that make sense?
I do because I honestly just took a stab with hatchet. I could have said axe. I mean, in my mind, it's 50-50. I'm not going to pretend that I know
these
better.
are called like being 25 and you got to be
drunk.
No, not drunk. Maybe. Actually, maybe. You never know. Yeah, these are things that my mother cried about.
Yeah, his mother cried.
My children all told me that when they're 18, they're going to get tattoos, and I've decided to lean in. By the way, I'm trying this instead of being like, no, the fuck you are, which is my gut reaction to almost everything. Like, I'm going to get a Lamborghini and I'm just going to like ride around listening to loud music and get tattoos. I'm just like, that is a great idea. Tell me what tattoo you're going to get.
That's a really smart tactic. You know what? And then go past the ketchup and change the subject like you don't care because they want the reaction.
Well, I also really want to hear what tattoo they think is so amazing because all I have to do is pick up like a drawing that I have framed from 3rd grade and they're like, Mom, put that away. I go, why? You're telling me you're not going to always love something forever and ever, always? What if this was on your body? Think about it.
I have a good one for tattoos. Tattoos, when you have them in 20 years, are going to make you look older because it was a moment in time where they were popular and trends subconsciously make you look older if you copy them. Does that make sense? Like the bolt-on Pamela Anderson tit.
Bolt-ons.
We all know how old everyone is.
Yep. Or the tramp stamp.
Yes, the French manicure, the
You should
specific
see my
one
tramp
from
stamp.
the
My
80s.
tramp stamp.
Do you have a tramp stamp?
No.
I'd be so impressed. I saw a dude the other day, and I don't remember where it was, who had and he was got to be in his 70s with like a lower back tramp stamp. I'm like,
living his life.
I want to know more.
Send that to your son. Send the pictures to your sons.
Yeah, I don't regret any of my tattoos. I waited till I was 25, but there is moments where like, oh, that's kind of aggressive, and you gotta look at yourself.
Well, you made sure. I mean, there's not on the neck
you
or the
should
face.
see his leg. He has
Ledger.
a coffin on his leg.
Yeah.
But what kind of music were you into when you were doing this?
Metal. I have like the
Metal,
Misfits
yes, it's
thing.
all
Gotta be metal.
How do you know
and-
that?
Yeah,
Because who else would want a coffin on their leg?
yeah, metal and
This
punk
was a
and-
question that was written in by our audience.
I do have a tattoo that says heavy metal above my ankle.
You know, we can talk about every
Losing it.
tattoo.
I can't.
Yeah, don't.
It's just so on the nose. It's not even like, Danzig or
I like these-
Mother or something. It's like heavy metal.
Should have got
So just
my
as heavy
name,
metal.
bitch, because I'm still
That
here.
one, actually, the funny thing is, the heavy metal one on my ankle, that was a drunk tattoo.
Okay.
But,
Okay.
I've grown. This has been a couple decades now.
Do you still love metal?
I do.
All right. You'll like the show that I just did then.
What is it?
It's called Hysteria. It's about satanic panic in the 80s.
I've heard of that. What has it come out
Yeah,
yet?
it's coming out in October, I think. We just finished it. I have no idea when. I think it's coming out in
That
October.
sounds
Julie,
good.
I
Yeah.
was a fan before, but when I have a weird thing where now if I meet people, like okay, so like if someone comes on and they've been on a reality TV show, I'm typically not watching. But if I meet them, now I'm like, now
I gotta go
now I'm
watch.
in.
Now I gotta
So
watch.
Now I'm in. Like anything you're doing, I'm in.
You gotta watch.
And I'm gonna go around and be like, listen, Julie's my friend, and like she told me to watch this, and that's how I roll.
I know nothing about metal, nothing at all. But I know that this show is about metal. My character doesn't have anything to do with the metal. I'm the mom that's like, what the hell? Everyone's going to be possessed by the devil.
You never had like a Guns N' Roses moment? I could feel like that type of metal maybe you might like, or like.
You really don't think that's metal? I thought that was like hair metal.
That's like hair metal. So listen, that's like the fringe. Taylor's in there having a heart attack because he like really likes metal. But like I feel like.
What's Taylor's jam?
I mean, who knows? His is like.
Is it like Danzig though?
Pornhub and metal.
Pornhub? Taylor, you're getting. Oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
Pornhub.
But I feel that's
His
like
phone's
fringe.
broken because it's too wet from Austin.
But I feel like that hair metal, Guns N' Roses like fringe might have drawn you in the 80s. No, I could see you having an 80s hair metal moment.
A little, but I was like, I was more. I went to boarding school where time has stopped, and everybody still listens to like the Grateful Dead and Crosby, Stills and Nash.
Usually the boarding school girls are the ones.
How do you
like
know about
metal.
the boarding school girls?
Listen, I know a lot of things, Lauren.
This is something that our audience asked you specifically.
Okay.
What is your advice to someone who's unhappy in a situation and are thinking about transitioning or quitting?
Oh, well, it depends. Is it a romantic situation? I was just listening to Esther Perel, who's like, you can be closer after an affair. Like people can always get closer. And I was like, I'm divorced. And I'm like, don't say that. Like, I don't want to hear that. Like sometimes, I mean, I'm great friends with my ex. I had nothing bad to say about him. We just weren't meant to be together. So I feel like whoever your listener is, take it with a grain of salt. But nobody ever felt worse after throwing up, crying, or quitting a job or relationship. Like sometimes you do just have to walk away. The key is boundaries. The key is a boundary. And the one that I found, I have horrible anxiety. So when I've broken up with people in the past or been broken up with or had to leave something, I have to set a boundary where I cannot touch it or communicate with it or see it or, taste it, feel it for a certain amount of time. And then I'm allowed to revisit it. So like if it's a person, I'm like, can we make a date to talk in a month? Just so, because otherwise there's things, you're like, looking at the phone, or you're like, maybe I should text, or, doing the going back and forth and that anxiety of needing to sort of touch the connection. Is it still there? Do I still feel it? Do I want it? Do I not want it? And that has always helped me keep that boundary. About a month later, 2 months later, then there's more reality and you're like, oh, I'm doing much better now.
That is such good advice. That is such good, because you want to keep diving in and just seeing, and you change your mind. But then if you give yourself time, you have more logic around it.
Yes. And also because the minute the person, I'm imagining this is a person, but when they walk out the door, you're like, I've done this. I've broken up with people or had them break up with me. And I'm like, that was the love of my life. And you're like, no, it wasn't.
Yeah.
But it doesn't, in that moment, everything feels horrific and you want it back. And all you're doing is creating chaos by staying connected, like picking up the phone in the middle of the night. Are you there? I just was wondering, did I leave my hat at your house? Is Taylor Swift's scarf in your drawer?
You've had some of those.
The old leave the item around the house move.
Yeah.
The old accidentally left the scarf or the baseball cap.
Accidentally left the scarf is like a real obvious one.
I got accused of that once though, and it made me so mad.
Let the scarf go.
It was my underwear, and I didn't even want it. No, I was like, keep the underwear, I'm out. And I got the call later, cute move. And I was like, wasn't a move, dude. Not a move.
Just now that we've clarified that. Now
do you know what else? You also have
move.
to block their social media. Get it out of your ether.
Oh, everything has to be blocked. It's just like, no, they can't exist.
You mentioned Esther Perel. I love her too. What are things that you consume in your private life? Like what are you reading? What are you listening to? Are you meditating?
I do meditate very poorly. Got one of those things that you put in, what's the one, the Muse, it's like the band, and it gives you birds if you're doing it right.
I don't know what that is.
It's some meditation thing that's supposed to tell you if you're doing it right. Because I was getting really into meditating. I'm like, I'm fucking nailing this. So I got this thing, and it's like a band that goes around your head, and it's sort of like a white noise, and then when you're really hitting whatever it is that you're supposed to hit in meditation, you get these little birds.
That is so cool.
And I was like, mine isn't working because I don't hear any birds. My son tried. He goes, I got birds. And I'm like, well, give that back to me. It turns out I'm meditating wrong. I don't care because I think it's good for your brain. I do listen to a lot of podcasts. I try and stay away from the news, although I'll deep binge on news for a while, and then I'm like, no, it's bad for me. It's bad for my head.
Yeah.
It's really bad for my head.
Especially before you go to sleep.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Before I go to sleep, it's usually science podcasts. Something kind of boring, kind of engaging, but also you can drop off when they're talking about like finding, although Ötzi Radiolab is one of my all-time favorites. And the story of Ötzi, the Iceman that they found frozen in the ice, please do yourself a favor. When you're listening to it, say your friend Julie told you to.
I will.
It's amazing. And Brad Pitt has a tattoo of Ötzi on his arm.
Ooh, we gotta listen.
Who brought it back together?
Now that I know Brad Pitt has a tattoo on his arm, now I'm definitely in.
Oh, the tattoos are tattooing, aren't they? Jesus.
I'm just telling you, Ötzi.
Wait, just really quick,
Brad
what
Pitt's
is Ötzi?
newer to the tattoo
I don't know
game,
what
I feel
Ötzi
like.
is.
Or has he had them?
Ötzi was a man that was found frozen. He's a 4,000-year-old man who was found frozen in the ice because of global warming. And they could track, and by the way, at like the top of a ski run or something in I think it was in Italy. It was on the border of two countries, and they let him slowly thaw, and they had to keep him in an icy place. But he had wounds on him, and he had tattoos as well. Ötzi, the 4,000-year-old man, and they could track the last 24 hours of his life by getting out the contents of his 4,000-year-old stomach, and they tell this whole story about what happened in the last 24 hours of his life based on the contents of his stomach and what wasn't digested. And it's a doozy.
I almost want to ask you what was in the stomach, but I want to listen.
No, you gotta listen.
Let me ask both of you something. If I had a tattoo of an Iceman on it, people are like, what are you doing? But if Brad Pitt gets a tattoo of an Iceman, our girl's like, that's cool because it's Brad Pitt.
It's Brad Pitt. He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, see?
Right?
There's just some guys that could...
Taylor, are you looking at Ötzi right now? It's like OOTSI, I think.
Yeah, Taylor, are you looking into Ootsie? What are you doing back there? I heard a couple clicks and a squirt. Something's going on.
That's a thing, though. There are people that are on the fringe that they're just, if it's a Brad Pitt, you can do whatever you want and it doesn't matter.
Because
hell yeah,
you're obviously so busy. You've got so much going on. How did you decide you wanted to launch a product line? Were you meditating when you decided? What was the vibe on that?
No, it was we got into the part when my kids were like closing the door and coming out dirtier. And I was like, they don't need you in the bathroom. I'm like, you do. You look and smell horrible. And I would occasionally go stand outside the bathroom and trying to be respectful and not go in. But I'd be like, pits, nuts, butts in that order.
It doesn't smell that bad.
Pits, trust, nuts, butts. The feet are the worst at first. That's like the tell. But it starts before puberty. Like, puberty itself, and I should be better about this because I've studied a lot about it, but it starts earlier than we think puberty. We're like,
I think it's around like 11.
You're thinking of like erections and hair, and really, puberty, the hormones for puberty are starting a lot earlier than that. They're creeping in, and because all of a sudden you'll be like, sarcasm? What is this? Like closing the bathroom door, and I'm like, you don't have any hair. Right? What do you care? But it starts earlier, and then I was screaming pits, nuts, butts through the door, and my friend was like, it's really gross, and they all want to smell like, they all get the advertising from the social media about, I won't say the products because I won't.
Schmolled Weiss.
Schmacks, Hatchet, could be Hatchet.
All this toxic shit is thrown at them.
And it's all about like getting laid. I'm like, you're 10. And they all
I don't
want
to scare you, but it's coming. Like
no, I get it, but I'm also like, that's the bridge we go from baby products.
Yeah, she's right.
You go from like Honest or one of these lovely like California Babies, something great that you're getting at Whole Foods, to whatever's in the shower that is like in a gray bottle and smells like, I think like napalm a little maybe, or definitely something used to kill bugs.
It's
napalm for bugs. I think
napalm
it's not.
is what
it's for humans. Right. Never mind. I'd like to take that back.
We burned a lot of people with napalm.
It's Old Spicy.
Did not mean to make a napalm joke.
It's too strong.
It's too strong. It's also filled with chemicals.
Yes.
Which their skin is changing. Their skin is like changing and growing, and they're like everything irritates it. So we're like, they need something. They need a gateway into learning how to take care of themselves.
It's also, you mentioned a bunch of chemicals. It's disrupting their hormones. It's endocrine disruptors. We had the founder of Branch Basics on this podcast too. I love her cleaning supply line.
Yeah, I love her too.
And what she's done is amazing. And I feel like this is very much in line with it. It's really being thoughtful about what you're using on your skin at all ages. I love this.
Well, it's also when it was COVID. We started the idea before COVID, but during COVID, we were in this like pod with my kids and some other kids and all of my nephews. I think there's like, 8 or 9 boys all together, varying from about age 9 to maybe 13 or 14. I mean, a ton of them. And we had them test every single thing. We tested all of the, because we do have a botanical scent in the body wash, but it's all completely natural. Nothing on the face has any scent in it. Nothing stays on you has any scent in it. And we had them test every single thing. We had them help us with the designs. I mean, we hired design people, but they were like, they got the final say on everything. So we're like, if you like it, we're making it for you. Nobody makes stuff for those boys. They make video games for them.
Yeah, it's like kind of an underserved market.
Really, they don't
make like, literally I said, what if we put video game characters on the bottles? They were like, ew. And I'm like, know your audience.
Yeah.
Know your audience. I was like, you will sit all day long and watch someone else play a video game on YouTube. You're not even playing. You're watching somebody else play. But if that was on a bottle, a product in the shower, you would think it was ew. And they're like, it's for babies.
So can Michael and Taylor use this product too?
Mm-hmm.
So it's for men.
Yeah. It's for anybody. It's just that nobody is marketing to and selling to these boys, and to take ownership with something that's like lavender or pink. They're like, oh, I don't want to not all boys, but a lot of boys feel that way. And then they're like, I guess I'm concrete gray and DEET? Is that something to use to kill bugs? I'm looking at him like, get me out of this napalm hole. You got to help me out, buddy.
You're worried about the napalm hole.
I'm super worried about the napalm hole.
I remember.
I think people are giving you a pass.
All my boyfriends.
I think it's clear at this point that it was
It was intended not that way.
I remember
Don't worry, I'll get myself in a big hole on this. I'll take the heat.
Much better.
I remember all my boyfriends. You included going to their house and like you would hook up with them, and then you would go in their shower and you'd be like, literally, there's like Dove that their mom bought them from Rite Aid, or there was like the dandruff shampoo in the green bottle that they
I think what we got was like the Costco big supply that would just last.
Kirkland, because it's like
Kirkland.
It's like the boys aren't gonna. They don't care, and they don't care, and they don't need to know. But like, and they need like a real simple. Keep it really simple. Our biggest seller is the face pads because the boys use them basically to wash their face. Because I'm like, wash your face like I did. I'm like, that's not what I meant. But it better, good enough for government work sometimes.
Yeah.
You just go, okay. And we specifically don't make it with salicylic acid, which is like what's in like Stridex and, hardcore. Drying. I mean, it's not drying. It's much gentler than that. So, you're trying to give them a way in that doesn't feel like they're just stealing their sister's or mother's stuff and not trying to like use shave oil or beard oil on their face.
This is so smart because I can imagine being a 11 or 12-year-old boy and you don't want to ask your mom to buy it. You don't want to steal your sister's stuff because it's pink and floral. I feel like this market is genius.
Well, the moms now have an option and the dads have an option to go get something that they're going to use.
And is it on subscription if they want to just subscribe?
You can subscribe, but it's on Amazon. It's on our website, JB SKRUB, SKRUB, because guess what? Trademark, everything else was taken.
Yeah. Everything.
We got everything. There's nothing good left.
What was your trademark? Didn't you say you had something trademarked?
No, I don't. I said Fuck, Marry, Kill was trademarked. And so we did Bone, Marry, Bury.
Well, you better trademark it.
I have a trademark now. No, I got that one. So now nobody can get that one.
Bone, Marry, Bury.
Yeah, at least in the podcast.
Actually, it's a really family-friendly way to play that game.
Yeah, it was a
ish.
Yeah.
as family-friendly.
People liked it. They're asking for season 2.
You know what you should do on Happy Gilmore too?
Yeah, go on.
You should bring all your products to all the guys and have all the guys use them the whole time on set. Because it's all boys.
I will definitely make Adam Sandler do what I want him to do.
I would be like,
said nobody ever.
No, make Adam Sandler do an ad on set.
I'm a total believer in our product line because literally we made it like practically from not like in our kitchen, but went to the lab, did all the testing, tested on our own kids. We had some fails, by the way, on my children's skin. I was like, oh, that's bad. What was that? Because we were we were experimenting with different ingredients. They did not make it in. Stay calm. I did not allow that to stay in. But I'm like, just try it. It's going to sell itself, people. It's good. Like, just do it. And then we find out that all these women are using the pads to remove makeup because it's gentle and it's fast.
I need to try this.
I know, it's really good.
So if our audience was to start with one product, there's a lot of mothers who are listening, a lot of millennial women. What would they start with? I
mean, the big seller is the body wash in the orange bottle, and we're coming out with the juniors, which is like a travel size soon. That's the best. I mean, that's the easiest gateway one because it smells fantastic, but it's not like a lingering smell because it's not artificial. Really easy. It's in a big wide pump. Like, you're a parent, you're going to appreciate it. Every single step was thought. It's like the base is super wide. The pump, oh my God, my business partner, Jill, she's wonderful. But she was like, did you try the pump? I was up in Canada doing a movie. I'm like, yeah, it's great. She goes, which one? And I'm like, the blue one. And she's like, Julie, try the pumps, and like would hang up because she wanted enough to come out in 2 pumps was the exact amount that's all you need. Because if you have a squeeze bottle, you know what?
You can't do squeeze. I can't even do a squeeze.
You can't. No, because then it's like everywhere.
By the way, I still can't do a squeeze bottle, and I'm almost 40 years old. So like, nobody wants to squeeze.
What happens when you squeeze a bottle?
I just can't. You're in there.
It's too confusing.
It's slippery.
Your shampoo and conditioner needs a makeover. It does.
I don't have a good shampoo and conditioner right now.
What happens with your hair when it's doing its own thing?
It's
when it's not being.
Do you know that someone on TikTok, I'm going to tell you this live, called you your hair Lego hair?
Fuck that person.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Like a Lego because
like
it's
those
so
little
thick.
snap-on.
So everyone was commenting and saying, "Oh my
You know
God, he
what?
looks like Lego hair."
That's probably some bald motherfucker, huh?
Wait, well, I mean, you're there. I'm trying to see. Is it curly?
No.
Is it straight?
Wait,
straight.
should we use your shampoo and conditioner on his hair?
The shampoo and conditioner is just coming out.
You know what though?
I should have
He's
brought
gotta
some. It
use
smells so good.
No bullshit. I was in here the other day and I was like, we have the same okay, men still have the same problem that your sons have, which is it's an overlooked category with like not a lot of great options.
I agree.
And so I'm actually thinking like maybe I got to do something because there's not like a lot of clean options and I want to be able to do my hair, but this product's not great.
I'm buying him the shampoo and conditioner, the one he has.
And she doesn't like my shampoo and conditioner. I'm like, I don't.
Because it's like gray and it smells.
It's literally gray and smells.
It smells. I know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Listen,
put this is live.
I'm
I'm gonna
a
post a picture.
grown-ass single woman who's dating, and I want to like, I'll go on a date and smell somebody's head and be like, I don't know if this is gonna go any further.
But you know what?
You don't pass Julie's
don't-
test.
It's like in high school when the boys would drench themselves in Drakkar Noir,
Yeah.
or whatever it was.
I remember.
As long as it's not napalm.
Yeah.
And you're like gagging, and
Yeah.
they think they smell so delicious.
Or when someone gets on the elevator and it's like so.
I don't
it's
wear.
offensive.
I
It's
stopped
like
wearing.
the Christmas tree in the Uber.
Christmas tree. My son just got his license.
No.
Filled the car with the black ice
Tell
Christmas
them those
trees.
are endocrine
I used to have the
disruptors
yellow
and they
ones.
disrupt your testosterone.
Is that a fact?
I think so.
Yeah. So
Do you know what? Good enough.
Yeah.
I'm telling
A
you.
little lie never heard of
It's
flea.
good.
I
enough.
stopped wearing deodorant a long time ago,
Oh, we're gonna
and I
go into your
stopped,
body parts. Let's
and I don't wear cologne.
go. What do you do for your balls?
And I wear Henry Rose actually. It's Michelle Pfeiffer came out. This
Henry
clean-
Rose is
That's the one. I have to wear that one.
what's better. I mean, first of all, you met Michelle Pfeiffer. Tell me everything and
What
talk
do you
slow.
mean? You probably know.
I
her.
have met her once, but it's like looking at the sun. I have a problem. I can't meet people that I love. Like, I freak out. Mel Brooks came to our
Oh, that's a
set
good one.
one
That's a
day
good
because he was doing something next door, and someone took a picture of me hiding. I'm hiding behind a door. Like, what if what do I have to say to Mel
You've
Brooks?
worked with some of the biggest actresses, and you're
working
also
is different,
okay.
but like having somebody like Michelle Pfeiffer is like. I met Meryl Streep once, and I was like,
gnarly.
"Hey," and like just faded away, like moonwalked out. I just was
Intense energy.
horrible. I can't handle it.
But
She was
I
rad.
feel like you're doing something similar in a different category. It's like
Yes, and she sent me some of her Henry Rose, and I was like, "You're amazing.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. She's beautiful. It smells great."
I talked to her. I was like, listen, Catwoman thing, so I get to live a lot of my childhood memories.
you're
on this podcast.
happy. I mean,
Yeah,
All
Happy
you do is
Gilmore,
tell
I gotta-
people that like your childhood memories.
He has a lot of childhood memories.
Wow, now I'm just not that special.
No,
you're
don't
special.
worry.
We were very excited to
Oh.
interview you. I think you're absolutely
But what
amazing.
I'm saying, but back to what I'm saying is that there's not like I'm trying to think of what the options are for men even now, and there's not a lot of good ones.
I have changed my hair. My hair is different hair. It's the weirdest thing. I'm telling you guys, my hair used to be in such a different place 3 years ago. And I used to have clip-in extensions, and it was like splitting and shedding and just a mess. And I have done that by changing my hair to brunette, supplementation, and a lot of scalp massage and my bowl of meat. The supplement that I use, you know this, is Nutrafol. I've been using it forever. I've had the best experience with it. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement, with over 1 million people seeing thicker, stronger, faster growing hair with less shedding. I am one of those people. The shedding is so much less. I sleep on a silk pillowcase so I can see the shedding. And I'm telling you, like 3 years ago to now, it's a whole different experience. I personally like Nutrafol because it's drug-free, it's physician formulated, but they target the root causes of thinning. And this includes stress, hormones, environment, nutrition, lifestyle, metabolism. They really thought of it all. Get results you can run your fingers through. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter promo code SkinnyHair. Find out why over 4,500 healthcare professionals and stylists recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code SkinnyHair. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code SkinnyHair. Every morning, I end my night with a cup of ginger digestive tea by Peak Tea. I have done this for years. It is my favorite tea. I just feel like the ginger is so soothing at night, and then it has like digestive elements in it, and it makes my food digest. I can't even explain it. If you're on their site, I would also grab their matcha. It's truly like the best matcha. It's organic, it's ceremonial grade, and it's quadruple toxin screened for purity. So everything on their site is so screened, and they're so purposeful about toxins. I think it's awesome. If you're looking for a matcha that's really rich in chlorophyll or supports detoxification, their green tea is awesome. But you have to try, I'm telling you, their ginger digestion elixir. That's the one. And ginger helps with inflammation. And you know I'm all about getting the inflammation under control. You can take your Skinny Confidential facial massage balls and your ginger calming tea and relax. In bed, it's like heaven. Get like a weighted neck pillow. I'm telling you. Head over to peaklife.com/skinny. That's PIQUELIFE.com/skinny to get up to 15% off. And you get a free cup and frother. It's the frother I use every morning for my coffee and my tea. You also get free shipping for life when you start on any of my Peak favorites.
Lauryn and I are breathing rare air, and that is because we use Jasper products in the home and we clean our air religiously. We worry so much about the food we're eating, the skin products, all of the cleaning supplies, but what about the air that we're breathing every single day? This is why we love Jasper so much. We have these air filters in our living room. We have one in our bedroom. We have them both in our children's rooms. We recently did an episode with their founder, Mike, on this podcast. If you just check that out, if you search Jasper Skinny Confidential Mike, you'll see the episode where we talk all about the importance of good quality, clean air in the house. Think about a fish living in a bad environment of water. That's what we're doing with our air many times. If you have mold or must in the house, it's likely because you're not filtering your air properly. So Jasper helps you do that. They have the best air filter on the market, and it's the only one that we use. Jasper is awesome for sleep, mold, allergies. If you're somebody that suffers from allergies or live in an area where there's a ton of allergies and allergens, this is going to be a game changer for you. It's better for skin. It's great for aging. Not to mention, we think this is the most visually appealing air purifier on the market for people that care about aesthetics, which I think most of you do. Like I said earlier, we recently did an episode with Mike, and due to the high demand of that podcast, Jasper is extending their $200 off offer until the end of June. So jump on it quick if you're thinking about getting one. Again, that is Jasper, JASPR.co/skinny to get $200 off. They don't ever do this. So jump on it now if you've been thinking about getting an air purifier, because this offer is limited. Again, that's JASPR.co/skinny, Jasper.co/skinny.
It's a lot of like,
and then you don't want to like wear something the women don't
but
like.
Then they also they haven't nailed and I think everyone. By the way, The Rock, Jesus H. Christmas, I can't even look in your hand.
But I've been married for a long time to him. Or I've been with him since we've been together for 16 years.
Was that an upgrade?
Yeah, it was an upgrade.
Okay, because that's silly.
It was an upgrade.
That's silly.
It's glass.
What's it called? Wait, what's the
cubic
fake diamond?
zirconia?
The other one, moissanite.
Whatever.
Moissanite? That sounds very dicey.
Wait, what's the fake diamond called? There's a fake diamond, a lab-grown diamond.
I don't know. Just it's whatever you got.
Okay.
No, I agree though, because I think that you can get like really amazing products for men, but you have to go to like you got to go to like Neiman Marcus and spend like $50. You're like, I'm never doing that. Right. I need something at the drugstore.
Listen, it's hard for men because you're like, you hate the Old Spice now. You hate this. The women don't like the scents anymore. You're like, what do you wear? And then you're like disgusting if you wear something you think they like. And so
I think it's smart.
I just don't wear anything anymore. I'm like, well, hopefully you just like my natural.
Your natural aroma.
Because I don't want to offend her by wearing the wrong product.
Well, when you were pregnant, were you crazy?
Everything. I was like, oh.
The smells. I was dying. I was like, please, not your deodorant bothers me. And he's like, my non-deodorant bothers you too.
Well, he would breathe and it would bother me. So it was like, let me get out my scroll. Anything. He had a long eyebrow hair sticking in my face. It was like so much.
Not a lot. Yeah, well, after I became a dad, these I don't know what happens to guys with eyebrow hairs.
You need a
eyebrow hairs and sneezes.
In your line, you need an eyebrow pomade.
Eyebrow pomade.
Yeah.
Like boy brow, which I am obsessed with.
But for boys.
Oh, I love that.
She used to send me to her friend who I love, and they would hit my, and I just, I'm like, I'm married, got 2 kids. Like, you're going to have to figure this out.
Just trim it down.
Whatever's going to happen.
Just trim it down. You don't want to be like Andy Rooney on 60 Minutes.
Pits, balls, and butthole, you said? What did you say? Pits,
nuts, butts, in that order.
Pits, nuts.
And when they ask you why, you just don't answer. Because what are you going to? Well, because your butthole's really dirty and you're going to drag it up to your pit. No. Just pits.
Oh, you can't. You have to do it in the order.
In that order. You start high, you end low.
You guys are so gross. The loofahs you guys have too. The loofah. You need to do a loofah line. The loofah.
We don't use loofahs.
Yes, you guys do, and you keep them for
They're molded,
60 years.
Moldy.
There's
moldy loofah.
Rigor mortis on it. It's so
You
gross.
know what? My grandma was a full Japanese woman. And so
she was a full, is that what you meant to say?
Yeah, she's fully, I'm a quarter Japanese. You would never know looking at me. But what I mean to say is that the Japanese are very clean people. So
this is true.
I'm very clean.
I mean, I want to tell you that my whole family's German, and I don't think I take on a lot of their characteristics.
I mentioned this because Lauryn.
He thinks he's really clean.
Lauryn, I can't have all these women from all my favorite movies growing up, and you tell him I'm very clean, Julie. Trust me.
I bet you're clean. But you know what? I don't mind a little natural funk.
Yeah, see, there we go.
On an adult male.
If it's the right one.
Yeah.
Though.
And if
but you got to be like
the pheromone.
The right. Yes, exactly. When you're into them, it's magical. And if you're not into them, it's like.
Taylor, do not get any ideas.
But they say that if you are attracted to someone's natural pheromones, it's a match. And if you're not attracted, then it's like you're just not a match for the person.
Yeah, that's why I could never go on a date with somebody I can't smell them anywhere in there. They don't need to be stinky, and I don't want them to smell like super heavy cologne. I need to get a little like up near the ears. You're like what are you in there? Because we don't want to be relying on some sort of like.
You're like the Goldilocks of like
perfect
of
one.
scent.
That's
like
the perfect
porridge
place
has to be
smell.
just right.
Yeah,
right
behind
the ears. If you don't like that smell right by the ear, it's not a fit.
It's not a fit.
It's not a fit.
You've got to have the right smell. It's
it just broke up a lot of people's relationships. They're like, oh my God.
Well, when people are like, if you have to be squeaky clean and covered in a scent in order to be attractive to your partner.
It's a little.
Let's just think about all the time.
Michael,
it's never gonna happen.
Our friend Shervine would say that if you have to be covered in scent all the time, you're ignoring your body's signals telling you that there's something wrong.
Wow.
Well, they should use the unscented cleanser.
Freaking heavy.
Yeah. Not to take it a dark path. But.
I like how you can buy your products too on Amazon because going into the cosmetics store also is overwhelming.
It's too overwhelming.
Yeah, it is too overwhelming.
I get it.
Tell us all about Happy Gilmore 2. This news will be announced.
I just found out about that walking into this podcast.
You are swimming in the same waters and the same rare air with a lot of these. And even someone like you get, like, there's people in your world that are like, you get excited about like that.
Yes. Like Stephen Colbert.
I mean, Stephen Colbert's great. I just wasn't. That's not who I expected you to say right after that.
I would die. I mean, I met him one time, and I was like, I can die happy now.
But like, it's okay. So there's certain types of people that if you meet, you get starstruck.
I get so starstruck, and I generally have to run away.
It's so crazy to me with who you've worked with.
Yeah,
but those people then become people, and that's the way it should be. But there's like, I would never want to meet. I never want to meet Brad Pitt. I never ever. I'd be like, because you guys, okay, you have a following at this point. People probably stop you on the street sometimes or say like,
and just throw stuff at me. Actually,
you're nice to them and it's lovely interchange, but they sort of become then that person that you met and they're off, and it's not like a real connection. And I definitely flatter myself like with people like, oh, young Johnny Depp, not old Johnny Depp, young Johnny Depp, bless you, Johnny. But young Johnny Depp was like my dream. And I used to go to the Viper Room.
Jawline was pretty good on him.
And like, I was so sure that he would see me and we would know. We would just know. We would have the magical connection that, of course, anybody would have. And that if I met him, though, in any other way that, like, if I was like, oh my God, hi, can I get your picture and your name, your autograph or whatever? Then you're like, you're on the other side. I did end up finally meeting him, and it was when I was on the floor on a set playing a clumsy waitress covered in oyster crackers, and none of the crew could remember my name. They're all like, Johnny, high-fiving, and he's so nice. He looked up, he goes, I'm sorry, and you are? And no one, and they were like,
it's a little different than you envisioned it at the Viper Room.
So different.
Did you smell above his ear?
I did. I was covered in oyster crackers. It was the middle of a scene. I'm professional. I did not get up. I was like, let me die here. I think that's the last time I was excited to meet somebody like that, you know? And then you realize this is terrible. Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Sometimes they say don't meet your idols.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
Yeah. And there is somebody, and I won't say who was like a famously sexy hot man who I found myself at a party chatting with. And I was like, oh my God, I walked away. I was like, I can't believe I just talked to that. That's like one of the all-time sexiest hot man, like for the ages. And the party was sort of a circle room sort of thing. And I'm coming out the other side and I see him and I'm with my friend. I go, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but let's walk fast. He's a real talker. And
I'm obsessed with that.
I mean,
what
he's
does his name rhyme with?
Real talker.
No, don't, no.
No, it's anybody.
Movie is he in?
No,
I'm not going to say. I'm not going to say.
You know what, though? I think when you work with a crew like Happy Gilmore, where the guys are just so cool and shooting the shit and having fun.
Yeah.
And then you get an actor that's a real talker that's a little long in the tooth about how great they look.
Oh.
Well, okay, here's what I say.
Or like they have all the stories. I call it pizza, I played a pizza. Because people will be like, water. One time I was on set and Robert De Niro handed me a bottle of water. You're like, come on. We don't really, it's not everything is about some fucking famous thing that you did. Pizza, I played a pizza. You're like, stop. Just stop.
Yeah, I think like
I could never. Can you imagine being at dinner with, I mean, that would be really hard with a really famous actor.
Well,
and he makes everything about himself. I would hate that.
And you think you're excited about it. And you think you're going to have a great dinner. And you're just like, when can I excuse myself to the bathroom?
It's nauseating.
Well, I think it's always refreshing when you meet people in any occupation that are just like people and they're cool.
Yeah.
And they can laugh and just be normal.
Yeah.
But anytime, and I'm not just saying actors, but sometimes you meet certain kinds of people and they're breathing their own air a little too much.
Yeah.
And it's like, then it makes the allure lost.
Yeah.
Like I always think the coolest thing was when you meet someone's like, yeah, they know they're very like well accomplished, but they're also just rad people.
Yeah.
The other side, you're like, oh, that's.
I did have the all-time worst run-in with a celebrity because I worship this person and he did nothing wrong. So I will tell you who it is. I was doing Ed, a TV show about a bowling alley lawyer. So much fun, one of my favorite jobs ever. But a serious job that's changing the world, no. But one that I loved very much, was having a great time. And I was new to New York and there was some fancy thing at the ballet that after work that day, someone said to dress and said, you want to go? And I'm like, okay. I don't even like have hair, makeup. I just put on the dress and show up. And there's this celebrity photographer, Patrick McMillan, who was always sort of like, he was in the inside of the parties. He wasn't like a paparazzi outside. And I walk in and I was like, oh, this is pretty fancy. I should have maybe spruced myself up a little. And also, I don't know anybody. And Patrick comes over and he's just everybody's host. And he's like, Julie, you look wonderful. I have someone for you to meet. David Bowie and Iman.
Wow.
Have you seen Ed? And I'm like, kill me now. David Bowie definitely doesn't even know what a television is. He's from Mars and he's like one of the greatest artists that ever lived. And I'm standing there with like burning cheeks going like, please don't look at me. Please don't look at me. And I remember him forcing me together in a picture with Iman, who's like 7 feet
Stunning.
Of gorgeous. And it was on page 6 the next day. And I remember thinking, oh, it's all fake. Like there we are, we're saying like we're best buddies. And I realized in that moment, I was like, oh, this whole business, she wasn't fake and David Bowie wasn't fake. But the idea that famous people hang out with each other and are having a great time, I was like, no,
it sounds
like
like Instagram.
Here we all are.
Yes, it is. There you go. It's Instagram. There you go. You summed it all up in one.
That was
sentence.
a refreshing story.
Oh, I was dying. I will never forget it. And when he passed, I mean, I sobbed. He's like, have you ever met him? And I was like, yes.
We're good friends, actually.
And it's not a good story.
It's going to be, honestly, like after this, I'm going to like be hanging out with my family and I'm going to see, on something like, yeah, there's my friend Julie.
There's my friend Julie. She once had
Your
David
mom
Bowie.
is going to freak out about Julie. She
My
is.
mom will, yeah.
Yeah. Can you tell us, because this won't be out until after, about Happy Gilmore 2? Tell us all the things. What do you think's going to happen? What are your predictions?
Well, I saw Adam at some, he got the Mark Twain Prize, I think, during the time of Great Darkness, during the gray, like COVID-y years. So I don't know when exactly.
Low vibrations.
And very low vibrations. And he mentioned it to me there. He's like, we're talking about doing a Happy Gilmore 2. And I was like, and I said, oh, fun. And he's like, you have to be in. And I go, as who? I just thought it would be like as your love interest's mom or like as a old auntie. And he goes, as Virginia Bennett. And I was like, my regular character? But like, you got to date somebody really young, right? He was like, you're an idiot. So I have no idea. The short answer is I have no idea what's going to happen in this.
You have to go back in the lingerie. You have to go back in the white. This is my pitch. You have to go back into it. You look amazing. You have to be, we all need to see that. It's inspirational for women. You have to do it. And it's like owning it.
I mean, if it's in the script,
you'll do it.
Of course.
Got it. Headline here.
Do it.
Put it in the script. I think and plus also, I feel like we've come a long way in the hair makeup world, and I think I could really knock it out of the park.
I also think like 60 is the new 40. 50 is the new 20, or 20.
50 is the new 20?
20 is the new
50. It's good to get further apart. And 70 is the new 10.
Yeah.
I'm waiting. Like, if I just hold on a little bit longer, like, I think, like, AI and robot parts, like, I could just, like, be, like, a half biotic,
Being old isn't as bad as you think it is.
I don't think it's that bad. I'm actually liking it. Getting older.
You're not that. You're not even 40.
Though. No, but I'm liking getting old. I like actually as a guy getting old. Like, it's easier. Yeah. I didn't like the younger as much as I like the older. Is what I'm saying.
Well, because dudes get more power when they get older. Women get less. As soon as you send out the signal that's like, I am no longer creating life in me. Like you send out those pheromones or whatever it is, and like you don't look like someone can fuck you and make a baby. Nature says, we're done with you.
Really? I've never heard it like that.
Well, I think
when you stop being able to make a baby, that's when you think the transition is.
Well, I think it's somewhere. I think a lot of women, sadly, I mean, the reality is life is long and hard. And when you're the sole caretaker for babies and stuff, you're exhausted. Maybe you're not in great shape, whatever. So people think that they're not as attractive after they have children. I don't think that has to be the case at all. But I do think that there's a point when you're just like, yeah, I'm not making babies anymore. Even if it's your choice.
Uh-huh.
And it's not like menopause. It's like, I'm not making babies. I'm done with that. That people are like, what are you doing here?
I'm going to be 70 in my wheelchair or
making
90.
babies.
I'm going to be like, I'm still making babies.
I'm making babies, guys.
Yeah,
I'm making babies. By the time you're 70, they probably will have a cure for all of those things, and people will have babies in like this water bottle.
And then I'll have a half robot penis, and we'll be.
And everybody will be fine. Do you think that that's a good idea, a robot penis?
I don't know if it's a good idea.
It depends who you are.
I don't know if it's a good idea, but I know if it exists, humans will do it.
You know what, though? I got shock therapy on my foot because I have the very exciting plantar fasciitis.
So do I.
The worst. Have you had shockwave therapy?
No. Does it work?
It's amazing.
Okay.
It's incredible. Hurts and it's loud. It's like a hammer hitting like this, but each time it hits, it's sending some electricity into your foot.
Cool.
And it is painful, but in a good way. And I'm getting this, and I asked the doctor the other day, I go, what else do they use this for? And he said, erectile dysfunction.
Oh, God. That sounds terrible.
People do this to their penis, like, with electricity shooting out of it. I was like,
We had a guy on the podcast
Taylor's on the wait list.
Didn't Brian Johnson do that? Didn't he tell us he did that?
He did shockwave therapy for his penis.
Taylor, didn't he say he did it? He said he was doing something.
He said he measured his erections when he was sleeping.
No, but he did some kind of therapy on the
when
penis.
he was sleeping. That's very difficult to do.
Well, a sign of youth
He's got a sign of,
how many erections you get when you're sleeping. That's like a real sign of youth.
But yeah,
health. Vibrancy.
Health?
Yeah, is how many erections you get. And then after the podcast, I had to hear about every erection he had when he was sleeping. I was like,
but how do you know if you're having an erection if you're sleeping?
Oh, he was, I don't know what you were doing.
No. I would.
Do you put a piece of, a thin piece of string around your penis so that it snaps?
He had to wake up.
No.
Yeah, he
does do that.
So,
that's what he does.
Okay, listen, I'm going to give you a rabbit hole to go down. We just had him on the show, Brian. Fascinating guy. But he is now the most studied human being, and he has a team of scientists that observe.
Oh, he's that guy.
Yeah.
I know who this guy is.
Yeah, so he has, it's not a string, but it's like.
He put a string around his dick.
Yeah. It measures at night. But what he was saying is, and it actually makes sense to me, that the more time that you have an erection in the night as a man it signifies how healthy you are.
Okay, so then for the next 12 mornings, you had to wake up to show me you had an erection. So I would be like, wow, he's so youthful and radiant.
Like he was saying erections during the night. Like each night you should be having multiple erections.
Like while you're sleeping, you don't even know. So
yeah, like how do you even know?
I didn't measure those. I don't know, but I was just saying if I this Julie, this is a lot of information for me to tell you right away.
I just don't even understand how you would know how. I feel like there's a sweet spot.
I don't get
like where you don't actually want to wake up like with a heart on.
I don't get very squeamish a lot on this show, but this is weird.
Is this making you squeamish?
It's making you squeamish that you woke me up for 12 days in a row.
You know
and
what?
I tape my mouth shut in the middle of the night. So I woke up
I'm sorry, what's happening in this marriage?
Listen.
I tape my mouth shut so I can practice nasal breathing. And so when he wakes up to show me this erection every morning, I can't talk.
Well, I wake up, I wonder maybe something might happen if I show. And then I'm saying I'm healthy. I'm not.
You know what?
Who
knew that the 12-year-old version knew that you would be talking to your Happy Gilmore crush about your erections?
Your wife,
I had it. I manifested this.
So wait a second. If, let's just say in the middle of the night, you actually wanted to utilize the erection for the reasons that nature gave it to you.
My mouth is taped.
And her mouth is taped shut, he
still disturbs me.
I got you. You interfere with her.
It's do not disturb.
Sometimes it's better when the mouth is taped shut.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
One
you're
time
gonna
he
get
goes,
so
you
much
can
hate.
leave it.
See, listen, I took the napalm bomb from me. Now I'll get the hate. There you go. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Now
Julie,
they're gonna get me.
Where can everyone find your products? Where can they buy everything? Where can they find you? Pimp yourself out.
Tell us pimp myself. Yeah, you can go to JB SKRUB, SKRUB.com or Amazon.com. I think everyone knows where that is. And hopefully soon in brick and mortar in 2025. But that's a process I'm not allowed to talk about.
Okay.
Apparently, I was like, who cares? Don't we sell everything online now? But apparently that's the goal. I've learned a lot. I'm really business. You can see my business head is firing. But apparently, yes, we want to be in brick and mortar.
Once you do it, you come back because you're really good on a mic. You should go back to do the podcast again.
Yeah, you're good on a mic. You're great on a mic.
And
you know what? I'm not generous, though. Look at me. I've interrupted like 5,000 times. I have a feeling Chad probably wanted to stab my eyes out with a fork.
Taylor?
No, Chad, her old co-host.
No, Chad, my old co-host.
I was like,
Taylor? No, my old co-host. I'm like, I think I'd be better maybe on my own.
I know.
No, I like though.
I don't think she needs a co-host.
No, I like when the guest is
no
animated.
offense, I don't even know Chad, but I don't think you need a co-host.
How does it usually go? Do people sit quietly and wait for you to ask a question?
No.
Listen,
I should do that.
No, it's a conversation.
Sometimes
we're not like you talk, I talk, he talks. It's a conversation.
Good.
Yeah, but and listen, don't worry about interrupting because again, the audience will complain about me interrupting mostly, and I will just do what I always do and just blindly keep.
Do you
going
guys listen to? Do you ever listen to Pivot? Kara Swisher and Professor Scott Galloway. I'm obsessed.
I like Scott Galloway.
I am obsessed. Obsessed.
I gotta listen.
Pivot. She is a tech reporter who was covering tech in the early 90s. So she knows every single person. She met them all when they were babies. I mean, everybody from the late, great Steve Jobs to Elon Musk and in between, and knows everything. And then she has her own podcast, but then she has Professor Scott Galloway come on. And together they have great chemistry, and they always interrupt each other, and they have fights on the air. And one day they had Esther Perel come on and talk to them about their relationship.
But they're just
It's
friends.
all the things you love. Yes, she's gay. She's a gay woman, and he's a straight man.
Okay.
You know what happens
I need
sometimes?
to listen. Radio Lab about the
Radio Lab
man.
about Utsi.
Okay.
About Utsi the Iceman. Was
Someone's
one of the
going to
greatest.
now name their baby Utsi. I guarantee it. I'm calling it right now. Utsi
How
something.
did Brad Pitt not name one of his 6 children Utsi? I don't know.
know.
Maybe he found out too late.
Utsi. You want to have another one? Utsi?
Utsi. And Pivot, it's Scott Galloway. I'm into him.
Yeah, he's
I also
smart.
have a giant crush on him. There, I said it.
You do. We can put Julie, he has if you had your podcast,
He's married.
Here, Scott, here's a free one for you. He has a new book out that's around personal finance.
It's called The Algebra of Wealth.
See, and if you had your podcast, you could have invited him on, and you could have smelled
married.
behind his ear.
Let me tell you
He's
something.
married.
But you can invite people on your podcast that you like, and you never know. It's a great way to date. You can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. You can smell them.
Maybe.
And then you can tell if someone's a dud or not, if they talk or not, if they're just, you have to drag it out.
I like
Actually, kind of a
smart
good tip.
people. You could send me a brain in a jar, and I'd be like, I'm taking this to bed.
A brain in a jar.
Yeah, that's all I really like. You know, Adam Silver, the commissioner of the NBA.
No.
Anyone?
You like that guy? I don't know him.
Is he
What if-
married?
Yes, he actually is married to a woman I know. But I'm like, that's the sexiest man alive. And people too, he is not a traditionally, by traditional beauty standards, he does not score off the charts. I am told. I can't even see it. I'm just like, your brain, leap with me, brain. I love his brain.
I'm not into looks anymore. Tony Soprano.
Since yours faded. No, he's good looking.
Billy Bob Thornton.
Oh, Tony Soprano. So you like James Gandolfini. Okay. So you have a vibe. You get into a vibe.
I like a charisma, a thick personality with lots of depth.
A thick personality.
A little Lego hair.
Listen, hopefully you don't get that mouth tape on tonight.
Do you have a thick personality?
I got a big personality.
I wouldn't have married a thin one. Julie, thank you for coming on.
What a pleasure. You guys are a delight.
Thank you,
Come on
Julie.
anytime.